All right, welcome everybody. This is your host, DJ Sparks in the building, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of Love and Relationship Show. We're going to be talking about a very, very touchy subject today. It's going to be the abuse and the women who stay. So if you want to call in, first thing you're going to do, you're going to call 720-708-4189, 720-708-4189. And you can call in and give us your opinion on this particular subject. Very, very touchy subject for me. So I posted a Facebook post a couple of days ago in regards to this issue, and it got a huge response because I have a friend of mine who is in another state, and she is in a domestic violence type of situation. The guy beats her, the guy mistreats her. She doesn't have any kids. You know, I'm the good guy helping her out, you know, wanting to befriend her and things of that nature. So I went to her in honesty and I said, well, let me be with you. And she says to me, I'm not attracted to you. I'm like, what? You'd rather get beat and mistreat, stomped on and all this stuff, and you're not attracted to me, but I treat you with respect, love, and caring. And so my psyche is like, I need some help with this situation. Why is it that every single beautiful woman out there want to get a guy that beats the heck out of her, and then they stay? No obligation to the guy, no kids, no responsibility, nothing. They got their own job. The woman can do very well by herself, but she'd rather stay in an abusive relationship with a guy who treats her bad, and then she calls a guy who treats her good that she don't want to be in a relationship with. We got a guest on the line. Hold on just a moment. Sparks Radio.
Hey, this is Michael.
Hey, what's going on, Michael? How you doing, man?
Good. Glad to be here.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate you. Well, on the phone right now, we got Michael. Michael, you tell him a little bit about yourself, first of all.
Definitely, I appreciate that. Michael Wilkins, licensed clinical social worker. Been doing family therapy here in the Denver metro area for the last 10 years, working specifically with families, and now doing a lot of work specifically with families and victims of trauma.
Okay, so you know a lot about this subject that we're talking about. So I was just explaining to the listening audience out there and viewing audience the Facebook post that I put up, and the reason why a lot of women in a abusive relationship tend to stay. And I love the comment that you made, and we'll go into that a little bit, but there was a lot of comments on there about mental health, mental state of the particular woman, because I was letting everybody know who are just tuning in that, I have a friend, because this is very personal to me, and she is in another state. I help her out, I send her money, I do whatever I can, travel down there, get a chance to see her whenever I can. Beautiful woman, no kids, single, and she would rather be in an abusive relationship with the guy that she's in the relationship now than rather be with me, somebody who has befriended her and been helping her for years. And I don't understand her mindset and where she's coming from with not wanting to get out of the abusive relationship. And my fear is that something will happen to her like my other friend that I had, because I lost a friend to domestic violence when I was 16 and 17. She was, I was her friend. She was working at a department store. I used to go see her all the time. She had a little baby, and with the boyfriend that she was with. And then I had a feeling, I told her, I said, don't go home. One day I just had a feeling, I said, don't go home. Whatever you do, call the police, take the police with you, and go to the house. And she took my advice, took the police with her to her house. But when the police knocked on the door The boyfriend came out with a 12-gauge shotgun, shot the police officer, killed him. The girlfriend started to run away, shot her in the back, killed her, then turned the gun on himself, shot himself, and because he had already killed the 2-year-old baby that was in the house. So it was an unfortunate situation that I've unfortunately witnessed due to domestic violence. But my question to you, Michael, why do you think the women stay?
I think, and from my experience and from what I've seen, and when we're talking about trauma specifically, I have to reflect on family of origin. In my experience of working with victims of this, that have been exposed to this sort of trauma, a lot of times it's rooted in family origin. And what I mean by that is, when we're talking about your friend here that you were expressing concern for, it's very likely he came from a home where there was a lot of violence, maybe mental, maybe physical, but clearly we know from studies and what we know is that our relationships, as far as who we choose to be with, our partners, a lot of it is influenced on our upbringing and our caregivers. So ultimately what happens is, if me as a child, as an infant, if I never was able to attain that sense of acceptance by my caregiver, rest assured, for the rest of my life, subconsciously, I'm going to continue to seek out that goal in life. And ultimately what happens is particular victims of this sort is they're not comfortable with people that have it together. Because if they have it together, there's nothing that needs to be fixed. There's no reason for me to, I can't fix you, I can't help you. What can I possibly be a need for in your life? Because as that victim, their whole purpose is to gain acceptance. And for me to gain acceptance, I need to help you. I need to fix you. I need to accommodate your needs because all my life, I was never able to get that acceptance from somebody else. So I'm going to try in all my might to get it out of you.
Wow, that is interesting that you say that because a lot of women are like that. A whole lot of women, especially the ones that I know. Because they're caregivers, mothers, so forth and so on. And then when you try to be able to befriend them and be nice to them and what have you, if you got your stuff together, they don't want to have nothing to do with you. But yet, they'll go out here and date a guy who don't have nothing because they want to try to fix him. You know what I'm saying? And that is amazing that you said that because that syndrome, I mean, I don't get it. It just baffles me because of the simple fact that, it's just, I don't understand why, I mean, logic would tell you, okay, I'm going to date the guy that's got it together so we can build together to have more. But, the logic of a lot of women nowadays is that I gotta have somebody that I gotta fix.
Correct. And you will also see this in my work. I've seen this as well in reverse with men that are in similar situations. Maybe it's not physical violence, but there's still that sense of mental abuse. And again, it's for the same underlining reason, the sense of not getting that acceptance. And what we call that in our field of work too is codependency. There's this need to find acceptance, this need to constantly help people and rescue people. And what you will see with that, and when we're talking about domestic violence specifically, regarding women, there's a lot of studies regarding personality disorder in men that are narcissistic. Well, we know one of the setbacks of a narcissistic person is rejection and abandonment. So we know that when women are leaving these types of men, these are particular moments where it's most dangerous.
So is it a fear thing for the women?
I hear you.
Is it a fear thing for the women? Do they fear leaving this particular situation, that they're going to be stalked, they're going to be killed, Is that the reason?
Absolutely. And what with that too, they're absolutely in fear, as well as I shared before, that little snitch code in our culture.
Yeah.
But also too, when we're talking about that fear is the financial aspects. As a perpetrator, a lot of times what they do is they literally will isolate these victims by controlling the financial account, controlling any finances or any resources, which limits her ability to even leave if she wanted to, because where's she gonna go?
Yeah.
So they make it a way in which they can control her every angle, even if she wanted to leave. It would be very hard for her to move on.
I got you. Well, for those of you just tuning in right now, we're talking with Michael Wilkins on the phone with us. He is a licensed social worker, and we're dealing with the domestic violence abuse subject that's very close to my heart, and I know close to a lot of women's hearts out there, and everybody that's watching and paying attention. So thank you guys for tuning in right now. All right, Michael, I got a serious question for you. So do you think that with a lot of this domestic violence, and with a lot of the women, and also with a lot of the men, like you said a little bit earlier, stems from something a little bit deeper with the parents? Now, a lot of these women, I noticed that they do have parents they can go back home to. They do got people in their family they can call and help, but they still choose to stay in the abusive relationship. So why do you think that is? Because they come from abuse?
And it's a very complex question, but good question. I think one aspect of it is that I like to share with people that come to me a lot of times regarding their concerns, like you are sharing here regarding your friends. I think one of the biggest things that we can do that can cause more harm as that concerned family or friend member is when we get engaged, we may unintentionally cause more harm. And what I mean by that is we may, in our effort of encouraging her to get out, we unfortunately make the mistake of invalidating a relationship. And what happens is, and what I mean by that is if I'm that victim, and I'm coming to my friend and family regarding the relationship, but I feel like what they're saying is invalidating. And it's a comments where people mean well, but they don't realize that sounds very invalidating.
Yeah.
And it puts that victim in a very complicated manner, because they want to know they can continue to communicate with, but they also know too that you become emotional and frustrated when they're not making the moves that you like. So ultimately what happens is they become extremely ambivalent, or they just will stop going to family and friends because they know the answer that they're going to get. So one thing I really encourage is for family and friends of loved ones that are victims of domestic violence is to really pay attention in your communication, or rather, I would, me personally, I would suggest that they seek professional counseling, because again, as that loved one, I'm coming from a place of emotion, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I'm also coming from a place where my communication may be very invalidating, and I want that individual to continue to be able to communicate with me, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to be reluctant to want to come back to me because of the invalidating comments that I may make about her relationship.
Okay, now don't you think that, because a lot of women and men, they don't want to go to counseling either. You know what I'm saying? So it's a friend like myself that they'll call to confide in, for a listening ear. But then again, like you were saying, that I'm invalidating them because I don't like the situation that they're in. I'm telling them to get out of the situation. And then you would be doing the exact same thing by telling them to go to counseling. So what good would it do?
That's a tough one. I like to say if our loved ones are still willing to come to us, there's something in that relationship where they still feel comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And because of that, I would work at wanting to honor that. But I would be mindful of, I want to keep them feeling comfortable and talking with you. So if she has that connection with you, continue to honor that. Continue to hear her out.
Yeah.
But I would, if she, again, because we want them to be able to talk to us, but we don't want them to feel ambivalent and worried that if they do come to us, that we're going to invalidate them.
Yeah, I got you.
Sometimes they just need an ear to listen to.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, hold on for a second. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna talk about just that subject. How do you really handle a situation like this as a friend? And then what should you do to try to not push the person away, and try to not, like you said, invalidate that particular person? We're going to talk about that when we get back, okay? This moment.
Right,
okay. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in right now and listening right here on Sparks Radio, broadcasting live from the all-new Dragonfire Studios. Got Michael Wilkins on the phone, and also we're talking about the abuse and the women that stay. So we'll be right back right after this. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more about this subject.
Have you ever wished you had the opportunity to earn stock options at the forefront of the top companies in the world? Now here is your chance with SlideBuy. SlideBuy is the newest, most innovative, and entertaining way to shop. We utilize the technologies of tomorrow to enhance your shopping experience today by providing you a variety of functions such as a way to personally match selected apparel from multiple stores in one convenient location at your fingertips. Or maybe you need assistance selecting an outfit. With a single click of a button, allow our patented auto match function to assist you with styling your next outfit. Or you say you don't like the current price of your favorite item. We give you the opportunity to set your own desired price point for a specific product, and SlideBuy will notify you when it's available. The future has never been brighter for our members. If you have followers on your Instagram or Facebook account and love to shop, we consider you a premium influencer that will have the opportunity to earn stock options in our company that may financially change your life. No commitments, no fees, ever. All you have to do is go to registerSlideBuy.com, attend the private launch event on December 1st, 2018 in Denver, Colorado, where we will provide you with more details, and sign up for the SlideBuy app. You will exclusively see the future of SlideBuy that so many executives from leading companies are talking about. We are presently seeking 1,200 influencers to become our very first test users and to grow along with us. Register immediately as space is limited to the first 1,200 personally selected influencers to sign up. So download SlideBuy now by simply clicking on the link provided and enjoy the ride. SlideBuy, your wish at your command.
Yeah. Ready to get this workout in. Indeed. Let's make it happen. Boy, good.
That boy good. That boy good. That boy good.
Yo, damage any man standing in the front line. I move like a second generation Mach 5. You can make a move if you big and ready to die, but I seen a my spot him out the corner eye. Yeah, you fly, but I dare contest it. That the rhymes I spit it till you dangle your neck, kid. Retraction, subtract my royalty, check out ya. Leave your kiddies with a pantry voucher. I doubt your mind pattern the same as mine. I blow my mind, scatter when it's business time. You can't relate to me when I'm on my grind. I grind like two bones with no cartilage. I'm a fine specimen, perfection, line for line. If I can't do it, don't waste your time. I'm too dope, show me where the dotted line so I can sign my name to increase my shine.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good. I hear him saying it, some saying 40 is played. Hey, they still playing my hits. I hit them high, hit them low. When I spit, hit them from every angle with something they'll never forget. I got that city boy, pretty boy flow. Can't stop until I get that 50 or ditty boy dough. Set the blow like I changed
my name from Titty Boy, yo. All they know is 2 Chainz. All I learned is to do things so notable. Hip hop quotable, the solo move brought improvement. Hello, Moto, it's the movement. Black ink all over the planet. Don't panic, the mechanics organic. Gotta go hammer with the grammar. I mean, hand for the fam, go blam, no hand on the handle. No shots fired, no scandal. But I'm trained like hugging these rappers today. Suck so much fluff and makeup, so this goodness will wake 'em up. Yeah.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good. That boy good. That boy good.
Been hearing that since I was 13, but I also heard that I don't write like an earthling. Up with the stars, I'm solar with my bars. Harsh Martian, Marshall with the arts. Smart like cars, harken and park, don't start. I leave you silly rappers at the mark. Parched, I light to the dark, unashamed, watch me spark. I'm a city on a hill, you can see me like the arches. Golden.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good. That boy good.
All right, welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in right here to Sparks Radio, broadcasting live on YouTube as well. Make sure you click on the YouTube channel, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. And you can see this post that we're talking about on my Facebook page. My Facebook is DIJSPARKX. That's DIJSPARKX. And on the phone we have a special guest, Mr. Michael Wilkins, licensed social worker. Thank you, Michael, for coming on to the show and talking about this very touchy subject. And once again, we're talking about abuse and the women who stay. As I stated earlier, let's do a little bit of recap. I have a friend of mine who is in another state. She's in a domestic relationship right now. She calls me when things go wrong, and I confide her in the money, go see her if I can, try to assist her and help her in any and every way that I can to be there for her. I have feelings for her, and I recently reached out to her and said, hey, I want to be with you. Go ahead and leave this guy. And she says, well, I'm not attracted to you. You're a good friend. I'm not going to leave the current relationship that I'm in. And then the question to me is, why do a lot of women do that? Why do they want to stay in an abusive relationship when they got a good man who wants to be by their side, take care of them, and be there with them? It's something going on inside the mental state that will not allow a woman to stay. And a lot of things we talked about, Michael, is fear, like you were saying before. That fear of wanting to leave. The financial need that goes there, the just having a place to stay, not wanting to confine in parents coming from an abusive home. All these things play a factor in the fact that the woman may not want to leave. So what's the best way for me as a friend to do to not try to invalidate my friend and to turn her away from me, and not to try to get her into a situation, but it gets to the point to where, I really, really get serious about it, because I don't want her to end up like my other friend. And that would be the whole family was slaughtered, and I knew something was going to happen that day, but I couldn't prevent it because she wouldn't listen to me and not go home, because I offered her to come stay with me. I offered her all kinds of stuff, go stay with a friend, go do something else, but don't go home. And she had to go home to that child. And as soon as she opened up the door, the officer opened up the door, he was blown away. The baby was already dead. She turned around and ran away. Shot her, killed her, and then turned the gun on herself. So it was a really, really sad situation. And I actually went through that. When I went to the funeral, man, I still, to this day, I still have haunting memories of seeing that whole family slaughtered, and I don't want that to happen to this friend of mine. So what's the best option that I have?
I think the best thing that you could do, Sparks, is what you've been doing, and just being supportive. And I know that sounds, it's like Well, we want more, Mike, and I think, again, the reality is if your friend or other victims are willing to come to us, they feel comfortable enough.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But I would just continue to do what you have been doing, because obviously she's comfortable in talking to you.
Yeah.
And again, it's really, I think that's powerful in itself. Because when we're talking about domestic violence, I gotta bring back the trauma part.
Yeah.
And another part with trauma is literally the brain is in flight or flight. So what ultimately happens when we're in trauma a lot is our frontal lobe, the frontal cortex, the portion of the brain that includes our personality, our conscience, our decision making, everything of who we are is right there in the frontal lobe. What ultimately happens when we're exposed to trauma is our frontal lobe is hijacked.
Yeah.
Meaning that it shuts down and all activity is done in our limbic system, and specifically in the amygdala. And that's where our emotions are. So what happens are people are working from their emotional mind, and they're not thinking logically a lot of times, and they're literally stuck. We call it flight, fright, or freeze. And what I mean by freeze is some of these people may be disassociating. They may, what I mean by that, they literally, they're not in body, and they're not in self. It's the brain's way of kind of escaping violence. And so they literally will shut down. And that frontal lobe, where there is no logical thinking, a lot of that's impaired. And so they struggle with, because they're not in that part of their brain. And what we want to do is try to get them out of that limbic system.
Yeah.
And that includes like stuff like physical activity, taking care of your body, so on and so forth. But I think, in short, the main thing that we want to do is just really honor our victims and what they need at that time. Also, too, what I would suggest, too, is create a safety plan.
Yeah.
If she's comfortable talking with you on that level, and I'm like, like yourself, very concerned, well, can we work on a safety plan together? Can I be a part of your safety plan? Just in case whatever's going on, let's talk about a safety plan and how I can accommodate it and support you in that safety plan. But I think a safety plan is the best thing, or a great suggestion.
Oh, okay.
We want to leave it up to the victim on how they want to work that stuff, but afford yourself that level of as an idea. And I think what that does is it alleviates some of our concerns for our loved ones.
Yeah.
It lets them know too that you're letting them have the decision and you're honoring them and you're not invalidating.
Okay.
Letting them know that you still love them.
Okay, that's a good point right there. I mean, and what are some of the things that you would suggest within a safety plan? Because this particular person is out of state. Like, saving up some money for plane tickets or, hotel accommodations. I mean, what's a safety plan for some people so that the listeners will know what to do.
Okay, so again, right there, that's a great start. If she's working or in a position where she can put an account to the side, by all means start something like that. I would also look into resources in other specific areas, such as shelters that are available just in case she's ready to make that move. I would look at, if she has children, again, I would, pay attention to, finances, and if there's another loved one such as yourself, have people that are part of that safety plan as far as like, where places she can go or people that she can talk to. But I would definitely focus on establishing some type of financial, resources if possible. But I would definitely also stress too is looking at available resources in her local community. That way, when she's ready to make that move, she knows where to go.
Okay. And now for those of you just tuning in, once again, we're talking with Michael Wilkins on the phone, licensed social worker, and we're talking about the abuse and the women that stay right here on Sparks Radio with your host, DJ Sparks. Now, another situation that may arise too, that I don't know if this is true of my friend, but I know a lot of women as well they find out that they're pregnant within a violent situation like that. And then when that situation arises, that's a whole nother story. You know, because then they don't want to leave because of fear of the baby. But then they're getting beat at the same time while they're pregnant, so they may lose the baby. You know, it's several different things. And then once they do have the baby, if they do leave the situation, they're still going to be involved with the father because he's the father of the baby, the one who's been abusing the woman.
Yeah.
So it's so much that goes on with these domestic situations. You know, in those particular situations, I mean, what's the best course of action for a woman who is fearing for her life that may be pregnant with a child of an abuser?
Again, I would, if she's interested, you know, continue to, you know, if she's not interested in counseling, if she has some good support in her life, you know, such as yourself, and again, what I mean by that support is people in her life that's not going to invalidate her. I would encourage her to keep those avenues open. But I think also, too, is that I would really, as a friend, really get her to pay attention to the idea of the impact on pregnancy. You know, again, with studies, when we're talking about trauma and women that are being exposed to trauma during pregnancy, is that, again, when we're talking trauma, we release what's called cortisol. There's studies now that are showing that cortisol may have a strong impact on ADHD, autism, but what we're learning now is that even when a woman is, you know, under trauma, when she's in utero, that baby's in utero, her body is secreting, you know, cortisol. That as well can, and ultimately lead to that child even possibly having a personality disorder, and the cycle starts all over again where you have this young child that becomes a perpetrator as an adult too, on the account of what they witnessed as a child. And
even in the womb. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. That is sad.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Michael, I don't want to hold you too long, man. I want to thank you for coming on to the show. Thank you for your insight. This is going to help a lot of people because the questions that we asked, the things that we went over, the things that we talked about are situations that a lot of people go through and they're afraid to come out. So is there like a hotline number or something like that you can maybe give out that people can go and reach help if they need to call, if they're viewing this program right now, so we can help them out?
Sure, I don't know the number offhand. I do apologize.
Yeah, it's all right. No worries.
In the Denver area, they may want to try an agency called Blue Bench.
Okay.
And also, they can try the Center for Trauma and Resiliency, which is also in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out and coming on to the show. Michael Wilkins, everybody, thank you so much. And we appreciate you, man. We got to have you on, have you live in studio next time, okay?
Absolutely. Look forward to that, Mark.
All right. Thank you, man. Thanks for calling.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
All right. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in to this show right here about domestic violence. And I just want to leave you guys with this one final piece. If you are a victim of domestic violence, or if you know anyone out there who is the victim of domestic violence, we have this number right here on our screen right here. Call this number and seek help. Or get them to some counseling. Do a safety plan to get them out of the situation. Be prepared, because I don't want anyone to end up like my friend, that her whole entire family was massacred because of domestic violence. She didn't even make it to see 17 years old. So I do not want nobody to end up like that. This is my implore to you. Please seek help. All right, this is DJ Sparks. Thank you guys for tuning in to this show about domestic violence, and I hope this helps someone. Be safe out there, be kind to one another, and we'll see you guys next time.